Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. And every Friday in the month of October, I'll be doing a different review of a previously released or new, if I can make it work, NECA 7-inch Ultimates horror-related action figure here on the channel. And today we're taking a look at the NECA 7-inch Ultimate Metaluna Mutant from This Island Earth, which is one of these classic 50s and 60s science fiction alien movies. This one here, I watched this for the first time recently. I think it's a little boring, just a little bit. I mean, it's an older movie. I do think the end's really good, especially with the Metaluna Mutant. There's not a lot of them in it, but this is still cool that we have this figure here. I think a couple other companies have made figures of this type of character before, but nice to see NECA putting their hat in the ring, basically, if that's even what the saying is. I get these sayings wrong all the time on the channel. Anyway, let's take a look at the packaging. Very nice text going on here. Great colors. Just going over a lot of just what the Metaluna Mutant is and just kind of a tagline for that movie. This art is super sick. Really digging that. So let's take a look at the top here. So this is meant for ages 17 and up. I think the movie's I think it's unrated, but not like a bad unrated. They didn't have a lot of ratings for these back then. But you just see This Island Earth. Warning, choking hazard, which is probably why it's still rated 17 and up. NECA logo. Looking on each side. So these are different poses. Okay, so let's take a look at this side first. This shows off more of the battle damage, or really just the injured state of the Metaluna Mutant. One of those, there's two of them. One of them gets really badly injured. And then we have this one here, which is more of a normal looking Metaluna Mutant going on there. I guess if you wanted to be accurate to the movie, you only would need to pick up two. So let's take a look at the bottom of the packaging. And just this artwork courtesy of Jason Edmondson. I probably said that wrong. Just some credits right there. Barcode in case you need it there. NECA and Real Toys. On the back here, really nice images all comprised together. And then this is part of the design. It's supposed to look a little bit worn out right here. Getting down here, and it just talks about what's going on with some of the alternate parts. And there's not a lot going on here, because when we look inside, first of all, we get the flap right there. So that looks good. And then that's it. That's all you get. So this is hopefully going to be a shorter review. Let's go ahead and take a look at get this out of the packaging, basically. And here is the figure out of the packaging, and while I do think that this is a pretty nice piece, I am not entirely sure if I would recommend picking this up at full price. I think it's still 35 bucks. Some NECA figures have jumped up in price lately, so this being a little bit cheaper than that is good, I guess, but there's just not a lot going on here to warrant 35 bucks in total, if you ask me. Let's go ahead and take a look at the only accessory that this comes with, and we'll take a closer look at the figure. Now, there are two Metaluna Mutants throughout this whole movie. One of them is rather normal looking. I forget exactly how it dies, but the second one has debris fall on it, and it gets a lot of blood and damage on it. So this head reflects that. I wish it had alternate body parts, like maybe the arms, because this thing got covered in a decent, not a lot, but a decent amount of blood to where you could tell. So just having one head to represent that is a little, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's cheap, but I wish they did a little bit more. Here is that head sculpt. It is just exactly the same that's going on here. And this pops on the head, as I showed off in that image a second ago. Pops on there actually pretty easily. Sometimes alternate heads with NECA figures are a little bit harder to pop on. So it's the exact same sculpt, just with blood right here on the back of the head, which does look good. And there too. Then the rest of these details, like these weird veins, and these gold, these weird dry brushing on the eyes, which is on the figure itself. That head, pretty nice. A little bit of light blue and this dark blue here. A little bit of purple going on into these these brain veins almost, which I think it's more apparent on the figure, the head that comes packaged with the figure, so we'll take a look at that in a second. This is it though, just one head sculpt. Makes this section pretty hard to do, easy to do, actually, not hard at all. But I wish maybe they did a little bit more. Again, there's blood on the arms and legs, so maybe we could have had some alternate parts there. I could see them doing an alternate version in the future. So maybe if you just want to pick up one of these normal ones, then maybe wait if they do a blood version, or just get a second one, do the blood yourself. I totally understand that, but again, just not a lot here to warrant its price point. Now, one thing you could argue in favor of its price is its overall detailing, because just like a lot of NECA figures, they're always just detailed and sculpted very nicely. This is no exception. I've kind of already talked about this head, but without the blood, you get a little bit of a better look at all the detailing here. I really like how they did the eyes, like these separate pieces almost in the sculpt work, and they have this like black dry brushing going on here, almost like a wash, almost white on the mouth, or what would be the mouth. A little bit of this like frosted blue going on there. The veins again look really nice. This like reddish, like almost like a maroon, I guess, like reddish purple, really good. And then light blue painted onto, I think the figure is molded in a little bit of a darker blue, but we have light blue definitely painted on here. Or maybe it's molded in light blue and has some dark blue paint. Can't exactly tell, because I do feel like that within the sections of what looks like a brain here, it's a little bit of like this ink looking like purple almost. Lots of great texturing and detailing all throughout this head sculpt in this brain section there. So I'm really digging that. We also do have more of this vein type of texturing, really just sculpt work all throughout on the chest area. You get that on the shoulder pads too. I feel like some of the blue is overlapping a little bit on the on some of these veins, but from far away you're not going to be able to tell too much. So all that's, I mean, these are pretty small surface areas to get paint on, so you know, it still looks pretty good. Ridges on the neck going on here, which does have a little bit of paint. Yeah, so they pretty much everywhere they're going to break things up, break up details in a good way with paint. It's not just going to be one solid color, except for maybe right here. But we do have like a lighter and darker blue all throughout. Pretty much almost the entirety of this figure has that. And then the back here, these nice bumps going on here. There's all a softer piece here that's just plugged into the back. The shoulders, all of this is a soft plastic piece. They're going to get in the way of articulation, which we'll get to that in a second, but I think it's accurate to how it would look in the movie. And yeah, that still looks really great. Some vein work going on the arms here with like these spots too. However they did that, it's pretty nice. Going on here with this forearm section, more of those like bumps, and these lots of ridges all the way down there. I do think my camera's a little bright, so you get a look at different blues. Like overall, this is entirely a different blue piece compared to what's going on here. And then it comes back to more of this blue right here for the hands, or like these claw sections with these pincers. And then you finally get some blue broken up there with more of this bone color for those pincers. So that is really nice to see. They look really cool. That's what the forearm looks like with some of the bumps and the vein details going on there. Whatever's going on here. I don't know the anatomy of a Metaluna Mutant, alright, but just giving you some look. A look at some of the stuff going on here. A little bit of red going on here as well. So that looks really great. Is there anything different on this side? Really not, no. I'm sure they have to study, the outfit as much as they could to see what details were all there. You just have all of this like plating, I guess, going all the way down here. This part points down on the stomach there. A little bit of some wrinkles going on right here. Again, skin texturing on the stomach's pretty nice. This large belt piece, this nice little atomic logo right there. All of that, or this atom, I guess, I don't really know. But it's all just a red piece that's just painted there. But that gold right there, that's pretty clean. You start to look a little closer, you can see some of that red going on to the trousers a bit, but you I just now noticed it when I had to zoom in, so it's not the worst thing ever. The rest of this looks like more of a baggy pants type of material for the rest of this figure. All the way back here, a little bit of some variation of blue in some areas, but it's mostly just a light blue. Like, it's pretty subtle, the shading that they have on this. But, you know, look hard enough, you could tell a little bit darker and lighter blue mixed in here. It also has a little bit of this glittery effect, just a little bit of it going on in the pants. So I think it's really interesting how they did these. And a lot of wrinkles, once again, getting down to the knees, getting down to the shin area too. Lots of wrinkles. They continue some veins around the ankle section there. And then a little bit more wrinkles around here. But really, the big thing is these nice claw-like toes with these interesting sections right here. That's like a purple almost. And then you have the veins once again with some wrinkles on top of the feet, because this is definitely a dude in a suit. And then peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So, I mean, it's a really distinct, really interesting looking type of character. Is all of this enough to warrant a $35 figure that's basically just coming with the exact same head as an accessory? I don't really know. I still think that it looks really fantastic regardless of the price. Now, articulation, it's pretty decent. There's things getting in the way, though. First of all, this entire section will get in the way of going back. So it really doesn't want to go back at all. But you do have a dumbbell joint in here, and then I guess a dumbbell joint too going on there. It's really probably just a ball peg. So you get that combined range of motion going down, side to side. Again, the up's really not good. But then you do have a swivel. Shoulders get in the way of doing a full swivel, but the head articulation doesn't need to be too crazy. This character's not going to be doing a lot of crazy stuff, I will say, but the hindered articulation does kind of, impede on some things that you should be able to do. Now, I know this is accurate here to how it's designed, but because of that, extending out the arm is just impossible. So, it will lift up a little bit if you do anything like this. So you can kind of swivel forward and back, but you're really just going to get an upper arm swivel going on here. And then you do get a swivel here at this part of the elbow. You actually have a 90-degree bend there, which is actually quite good. Swivel here, it's not the greatest swivel, but it can swivel at this part of the forearm, and that hinges too. I'm double checking, nothing else besides these pincers that go in and out really do anything else. So that's all for the upper torso. The actual torso, man, that ball peg just really doesn't want to move around. So you could go a little bit forward or back, side to side, and a little bit of a swivel. You're going to get a better swivel, actually just overall better range of motion at this secondary section at the belt. So, yeah, that combined range of motion, it's all on here. Yeah, this is useless. So, this is a softer plastic piece here. Because of that, you can get a little bit forward, but not a lot. Kind of wants to go back, but not really. Pretty good split, actually almost a full split. I do feel like the actual T-joint and these ball joints, it's a little bit loose, but it stands up just fine. We have a little bit of a thigh swivel up here. We do have a single joint knee that really does not want to get to 90. Swivels a little bit there as well. Swivel at this ankle right there. Down. Up. Yeah, it could be better. Not terrible. Then we do have ankle rocker, and that's really it for articulation. Measuring out this figure, we're looking at around 21.5 centimeters, so that's going to put this just under 8.5 inches tall. I have a random assortment of action figures around here right now. Last week I reviewed that Ultimate Michael Myers figure from Halloween Curse of Michael Myers. Recently also reviewed that Power Armor figure from the McFarlane Toys Fallout stuff. That Elite Edition there, which I still think the Metaluna Mutant is taller. And of course, when it comes to standard size Marvel Legends Black Series, they're going to be shorter. I know I sound like I harped on this figure a little too much in this review. I only say the things that I said because, we're in a different economy now to where some people just can't randomly drop $35 for a cool looking alien. You gotta really, really like this movie and this design to drop the price point at $35 there. That's just how I feel about it, because it only comes with one accessory, whereas the stuff similar coming out right now and in the past from NECA have come with a lot more stuff. Now, I do think that this is definitely worth it if it's on sale. Definitely pick it up if you can get it for like $25 or something like that. But on its own, it's still quite good. The alternate head is the exact same head that it comes packaged with, just with some blood, so there's that. I do think that the overall detail and paint work on here is really impressive. It looks really fantastic. It's a nice looking piece. I'm glad to finally have one of these characters in my collection. Articulation definitely could be better, but it kind of reflects the person in the suit at the time, so I'm sure that a lot of people who are going to be getting this aren't going to be doing the craziest of poses with it. Probably stuff that's accurate to the movie. Overall, it's still nice. I just think it's a little expensive. That's all. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.